Good to see all of you guys. It's been a little while, so welcome, and I'm happy I can be here today. I missed last week with the practice that was going through this session. So anyway, we started off at College of Charleston, had a very good weekend. Knew that the schedule was a good one. I think both Duke and College of Charleston are very, very good teams. Are expected to do well this year, and so we were pretty excited about getting out there and taking care of business with our team that continues to grow and get better. For the weekend, Merediths Norris, from right around here, had a phenomenal weekend. She was all tournament along with Jamie Cox, two juniors that did a great job and stood out for us, but a great weekend altogether. Some things we need to work on a little bit. I see that, and it was great to play somebody else and figure out what we need to do, but good weekend, good start, and yet we know we need to be a lot better for this weekend. We have a busy time here. We have football on, and we have soccer, we have all sorts of different things going on campus, but with that being said, we will have 3 matches within 24 hours. We're opening up with Indiana State at noon for lunch with the Spartans. I guess it's 12:30, but lunch with the Spartans, so people that are on campus can come and see us open up with Indiana State. And then we have 7:30 Cincinnati. Cincinnati is receiving votes right now. They're pretty dang good. They beat South Carolina last week, which went to the second round last year and returns everybody. So Jordan Thompson, if you've watched her this summer, you might have seen her on some of the Olympic Channel coverage of volleyball, because she's probably going with our national team to the Olympics, and she's a senior right now for Cincinnati. She's pretty phenomenal. So that team is very strong. Maria Mallon comes home. She's another one of their leading attackers that comes home from, she's from Michigan, and she's a fan favorite from this state. After that, the next day we have to turn around and play Tennessee. And yes, Tennessee is 0-2, but they lost to Illinois twice in 2 5-game battles in a home and away. And so losing in 5 to a 6th-ranked team in the country, and they're rated, I think, 21, is a pretty good outing for them. They have everybody, most of their players are returning from last year, and they had a great go. We're in the top 10 in the nation last year, so we know that they are a great opponent for us. We are playing them at 1:30 in the afternoon. So in that short span of time, we're playing 3 really good matches and finishing it off right before the football game, with the football getting a night game. That meant we had to kind of squash it down a little bit, and so we're playing, and we think it's going to be a great time for people to get over, watch us, still get some tailgating in, and then come on out, and see us, and then go to football. So great games on the slate before we stay home for another homestand before we take off for Western Michigan and then open up with the Big Ten. So Big Ten, you guys know it, it's always strong. We have 4 teams in the top 8 in the country, 6 in the country, in the top 6 of the country. 4 teams from the Big Ten are there. No different than any other year, 7 in the top 25. Hopefully we'll start knocking on that door at some point here, but we got some work to do. So, but encouraged by the team last week. Got to play almost everybody. We had an injury that kept somebody out, but got to see some of our players and our newbies, and Biamba was able to get in there, and so it was good to see what she was able to bring to the table, and see how this is all going to mix together. But definitely a work in progress. So, any questions?
Cathy, with Meredith being from Corona right here in the backyard, I'm just curious with her emergence. I mean, how excited are you for that? And her ceiling, she came out of high school so lauded. How big is her ceiling?
Meredith's ceiling is big. I've liked what Meredith's been able to do. She's been hampered a little bit over the years with injuries, and we're really taking that and saying how can we best work with her. And she's healthy right now, and she's really strong-minded, and she's getting after it, and she's very knowledgeable about the game. So we're watching her grow and develop as these years have gone on. But I'm real proud of her, real happy for her, and she just had a great outing this weekend. So got to work to continue to get that to go. Want to make sure we have more balance in our offense, so that we can make sure we're not putting that much pressure on her overall. But we want to make sure that the balance helps out there. But she surely was stellar.
I don't know how good Charleston and Duke are, but how important was it coming off a season when you scuffled a little bit to start with 2 victories?
Well, it's really, really good, and the fact that Charleston, was rated in the top 50. Both of the teams were in the top 50 in the RPI last year, and Duke was in the NCAA tournament, beat a team that was in the top 10 last year before they got in there, and Charleston was in the NIVC, which is the NIT volleyball, and so they ended up beating Clemson, and they did some really good things, and they're a feisty team that's always, winning their league, and so those are two quality wins for us that will surely appear later on to be an important matchups for us. But we wanted a tough schedule. We really don't have many teams that are outside of the top 50 on our schedule this year, and I think there's like 6 or 7 that are not from the top 50 of the RPI last year, and so it's daunting, no doubt, but I mean, it gets us better, it gets us stronger, and we're not fooling ourselves. When we see that we're weak at something, we have a chance to get back and work, and I gotta love that, because it points out where you're weak, and we just know that the Big 10, they get after you. If you have one little weakness, you better figure it out, so, like how we started.
I mean, from a confidence standpoint, though, is that a big deal?
Oh, it's huge, yeah. The team is, they've been building really, since last January, or even December, this team didn't like the season that we had, and neither did I, so I'll be honest about that. Really didn't like, how we went about it last year, know that we needed to capitalize, and so this team went to work in December, went in January and said, let's get after it, and let's develop us. And they did just that, and we had a great spring, great summer. They led the way. We can't have time with our kids in the summer. Some other sports are able to do that. We're not able to. So you are relying on the leadership of your team to kind of get your team prepared for these upcoming weekends and last weekend. But they did an excellent job, and we're really pleased to see how they're getting after work. So.
That was one thing, you were excited to see some of the experience that you had returning. So how did you notice that experience maybe play out through the matches this weekend?
More composure. Like, we didn't, we stayed the course. We didn't get too uptight when people were making charges at us. We didn't give up the long runs that we did last year. Just had more maturity on the court. And we were playing at different times, 4 to 5 freshmen on the court at one time, and so now people are seasoned, and they understand that maybe we were focused on some of the wrong things, in during the match, and we just have recentered, and we got back to work right away, focused, refocused, reset. And I like the way we attacked those problems, or anything that got, anybody that was taking advantage, we were right on it. So good stuff. We had some great coaches the other week. We had media day. We had some stuff in the green and white game, yes. And so I appreciate everybody who came out for that. So thank you.
Let people know who won.
It wasn't about winning, Fred. It was about he's trying to say that Channel 6 won. So we had some Channel 10 and Channel 6 and some other people kind of coming out here. He's rubbing it in over here, but we let everybody kind of meet our team, and it was a fun event. So, but yeah, it's a team that is definitely getting more seasoned. We have 3 seniors. We have 3 freshmen. Everybody else is sandwiched in the middle, and so there's a big roster. We have a roster of 18 this year, and so we're definitely older than we were. We're certainly not old by any stretch of the imagination, but we definitely are getting more seasoned, and that's been a pleasure to be working around. So. All right, you guys ready for this big weekend? Oops, wait, I got you.
No, I was just going to ask, just real quick, the fact that you have 3 matches sandwiched in a really short period of time, does that change your rotations at all? Does that, how much do you think about that?
We're going in to get some W's. I mean, we want to come away from this, so it will play in the way we prepped during this week, and how much maybe how we work our practices and just some of our study time and get ready for that. But we have to get back real quick, so our recovery is going to be important. The fact that they did a great job over the summer, and that their conditioning was high level, they're able to recover a lot quicker. That will play into it for sure. If we weren't, it would be a big problem. But I felt really good about where our team is at. But it's going to be the same for every team. So we're all in the same boat. So let's see if all the work that we put in will pay off for us.
Cathy, you mentioned the green and white game. You obviously debuted the new 4 then,
Yes.
but is there an added level added level of excitement knowing that the regular season finally here, your first game of the new floor, and allow the fans to see it for the first time?
Yeah, we have a new Terraflex floor. If you haven't seen that, the court itself it's a Terraflex. You see it in the Olympics. You've seen it at some of the venues that you've watched on TV. But the Terraflex floor is a wonderful new addition to Jennison Fieldhouse, and it's actually gives us 2 full courts. So we have about 2.5 full courts that we're able to practice on, which really helps us maximize our time and our efficiency. So that was not all put, that was all there when we had the green and white scrimmage. We'll have the game set ready. I think the team is going to be really jacked up to get here and play in front of all our fans and introduce the new floor and just have a lot of fun being back here at Jennison Fieldhouse. So, all right, guys. Well, have a good weekend, and we'll see you soon. And let's get some W's for all the Spartans this weekend.